Paris Collier, and today I'm going to be giving a brief summary of a research study done in 2019 titled The Effects of Caffeine Supplementation on Physical Performance and Mood Dimensions in Elite Athletes and Trained Recreational Athletes. This study was submitted to the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition, and the purpose of it was to compare the effects of caffeine supplementation on anaerobic performance, mood, and exertion on elite athletes and trained recreational athletes. These elite athletes, in this study particularly, are champion boxers. So the main question throughout this study, there were really three main focus points, and it was, does caffeine affect elite athletes more than those trained recreational athletes? And if so, is it more physiological or more physical? And then the main focus points were the performance, the mood, and the exertion, so how much air was breathed out. The participants in this study were 18 male athletes. 8 of those are going to be those elite boxers, and then 10 of them are going to be those just trained recreational athletes. This study was a randomized double-blind crossover design where each participant took either caffeine or a placebo. It was 6 milligrams of caffeine per kilogram of body weight. So caffeine is a stimulant that is popularly known or used to improve energy. And then a placebo is kind of like a false pill that doesn't actually have any caffeine in it, and it's just given so that the athlete doesn't know if it has the caffeine or not, giving more accurate results. So once they took the caffeine, they then completed a Wingate test, which is a short 30-second cycle where they are on the bike, and they start off with a warm-up, and then after 10 seconds, it drops a weight, which is a percentage of their body weight, onto the bike, and they have to push through that, which is going to give their anaerobic capacity. So Wingate is looking for anaerobic capacity and peak power. The mood was also measured using a POMS and perceived exertion. Those were both recorded. The results from this study were that both groups actually did improve their performance. They had a higher peak power, higher average power, and a faster time reaching that peak power. And this is this is between the caffeine and placebo. So they did see more results through the participants who actually took the capsule or the caffeine rather than the placebo. And then conclusion for this study is that caffeine at 6 milligrams per kilogram of body weight boosts anaerobic performance for both elite athletes and trained athletes. But one thing that they did see physiologically is that the mood improvements were much more seen in the elite athletes, and they didn't really see much throughout the recreational athletes. So they saw much like a stress reduce kind of in the elite athletes, but of course they do have higher standards typically, especially going into like a championship game or something of that sort. So we recommend that coaches should consider, based on individual and training levels, type of sport, to possibly use caffeine as a supplementation, because it can improve performance, and depending on the athlete, depending on the situation, can even improve the mood. So it definitely could be a good supplement for a coach to give or coach to recommend.